With over 140 votes, you guys helped me to decide which video I should make first. So a huge thank you for everyone who voted and even posted a comment under that post. You know, I am just a gamer, just like you, and I have my own likings and preferences. That's why an opinion from a different gamer is really important to me, to see things from different angle and maybe learn something new as well. As we've got a lot of men-at-arms in the game, I've decided to cut this video because it would be very long, like 40 or even 50 minutes. So I've decided to cut it into 3 different ones. First one we are posting today. I will cover some of the unit types. The next one will be posted on Friday, covering the rest of the unit types. And the last one will be posted on next Tuesday, obviously the same time, 3 PM, the same on Friday, covering only the 10 top my favorite men-at-arms, which I use the most. Alright, let's just jump into the best men-at-arms in the All Under Heaven DLC. Before we jump into the ranking, there's something important which I want to clarify first. In total, there are 102 men-at-arms units in the game, and out of those, 4 of them are special outcast units, which can only be spawned by the adventurers, and those are not included in this list. The same goes for the retinue men-at-arms and siege weapons. So after removing them, we'll only have 82 units left. To make this ranking fair and organized, I first divided all men-at-arms into their unit types. For example, archer cavalry with archer cavalries, infantry with infantry, and so on. I also grouped camel cavalry together with the other cavalry units, merged the new handgunners from the All Under Heaven DLC with the archer class, and included elephant cavalry alongside heavy cavalry. Alright, let's kick things off with the archer cavalry units. There are 8 of them in total, and honestly, this category is packed with power, but also with some real disappointments. Starting from the bottom, the Mangudai. I know some of you might disagree with me on this one, so feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, but personally, I don't find them worth recruiting. Sure, they've got history and style, but in gameplay terms, if you rule in the steppes, there are simply better men-at-arms options to invest in. Other units in the region offer more power and value for your gold. At the second last spot, we have the Cataphracts archers. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan. They're expensive to recruit, and they only counter the archer cavalry and archers. For the price you pay, the return just isn't there. They look great on paper, but in practice, it's not what you pay for. Next up, the Asawira. And this one hurts, because they are actually one of my favorite men-at-arms in the entire game. These Persian elites are definitely beasts on the battlefield, but their strength comes at heavy cost. Recruiting them sets you back 300 gold, and the upkeep is a staggering 3 gold per month. The highest of any archer cavalry in CK3. They hit hard, but your treasury will feel it. In 5th place, we've got the Keshiks, the personal guards of every great Khan. They are powerful in drylands, plains and steppes, and they counter cavalry, heavy cavalry, and even the elephant cavalry units. But despite their prestige, I usually skip them unless I'm going for a big Indian or Southeast Asian conquest. Their niche strength just doesn't always fit my campaigns. 4th place goes to the Emishi Riders. These guys are fascinating. They are the cheapest archer cavalry in the game, but also the weakest in terms of raw stats. Still, in their home region, they are extremely efficient for defensive wars. If you are holding ground in Japan or nearby, they will do their job, and they will do it cheaply. Moving to the top 3, we have the classic horse archers, the pride of the Mongolian steppes. These are the units that gave all of us some of our most fun campaigns, carving through Persia and half of Europe with ease. They are strong, affordable, and reliable, and with only 7 provision used, they are easy to maintain on the march. In 2nd place, I've put their deadlier cousins, the heavy horse archers. I know, these are not very popular, mostly because they are harder to use effectively, but with 92 attack and 42 toughness, they are monsters when deployed right. If you know how to use them, they will melt enemy lines like butter. And finally, the number 1 archer cavalry unit in CK3, the Mounted Samurai. Even though I haven't spent too much time playing in Japan yet, these guys blew me away. They cost about the same as Mongolian horse archers, but their stats are on another level. 96 attack and 34 toughness, nearly triple the offensive power of the regular ones. They excel in the same terrains, plains, drylands and steppes, which means you can use them in almost any conquest path. And trust me, If your army is made mostly of mounted samurai, you can easily conquer the world. Now we move to the archers, and this group is huge. There are 13 different archer and 2 handgunner units, so I'll try to keep things short, but still, there is a lot to cover. In 15th place, we've got the Maturkan warriors. They are not bad units by any means, but they simply get outclassed. There are much better archers for forests, taigas and winter warfare, which we'll talk about soon. Maturkan warriors just don't bring anything special to the table. Next up, the bush hunters. These African archers are solid in their home terrain, but the problem is, taigas and forests aren't common in Africa, so their bonuses rarely shine. I guess you will replace them early on in your campaign. In 13th place we have the Wigmen, the Norse archer men-at-arms. They are perfectly fine as a start unit, but let's be honest, if you are playing a Norse ruler, you're not going to rely on archers to crush your enemies. You've got far better tools for that. Next up, we've got the Fire Lancers, one of the most expensive units of their type. They sound impressive on paper, and you can actually unlock them quite early once you discover the fire medicine innovation and build at least one gunpowder manufacturer in your realm. To be fair, I haven't found them that useful so far. For their cost, the impact they bring to the battlefield just doesn't quite match the investment. Maybe in specific situations they can shine, but overall they are more like a flashy addition to a truly essential composition. Coming in at 11th place, I got the Pikes, Indian archers who specialize in countering elephant cavalry. They are situational, but if your neighbors are using elephant units, these guys are your best counter. Otherwise, the usefulness is quite limited. In 10th place, we've got the good old bowmen, your standard but reliable archers. They are cheap, accessible, and perfect for early game. Obviously nothing fancy here, but definitely better value than most of the weaker regionals units, which I have mentioned so far. In 9th place, we've got another new addition, the handgunners. Think of them as an upgraded version of the Fire Lancers. To recruit them, you will need to unlock the gunpowder innovation, which only becomes available in the late medieval era. And that's really their biggest drawback. By the time you can actually use them, the game is often nearing its end. They are powerful, no doubt, but you can unlock them quite late in the game, and I don't think you will ever use them. Next, at 8th, we've got the Ballistrai, available only if you own the Roads to Power DLC. These come with the Imperial Tagmata tradition and are surprisingly strong, countering spearmen and heavy infantry. You don't want to face them in plains, hills or farmlands, where they get the biggest bonuses. In 7th place, we meet a new addition from the All Under Heaven DLC, the Gangung Archers. These are special because they are one of the few archer units that can counter handgunners, which makes them incredibly precious in the late game. Next up, at 6th, we've got the Shengibong. They are expensive. To be fair, they are among the most costly units to recruit and maintain, but their power matches their price. They counter heavy cavalry, heavy infantry and spearmen. If you can afford them, they will definitely destroy the enemy units on the battlefield. Breaking into top 5, we've got the rocket cards. You won't see this until the mid or late game, because they require Huacha innovation from the late medieval era. But once unlocked, they are devastating. Explosive firepower that definitely shreds enemy formations. At 4th place, we head back to Africa with the Nile Archers. Exclusive to the Nubian culture, they dominate in floodplains, oases and drylands. If you are invading North Africa or Middle East, you would better have proper counters, because these archers can annihilate unprepared armies. 3rd place goes to the crossbowmen, one of my all-time favorites. They destroy infantry units, especially heavy infantry, and even hold their ground against Mongolian cavalry. The only downside? They are locked behind the advanced bowman key innovation, available only in the high medieval era. So don't expect them early on, but once you unlock them, they are game changers. In 2nd place, we've got the Metsanvartia, the Finnish and Bjarmaland forest archers. I've had so much fun playing with them. They thrive in forests and taigas, and gain extra bonuses during winter, making them perfect for northern campaigns. When used in the right terrain, they are almost unbeatable. And finally, at the top of the list, we've got the longbowmen, the kings of archers in CK3. They might not dominate in early game, but as time goes on, they just keep getting stronger. Era after era, their cost to damage ratio stays incredible, and they retain one of the most efficient and lethal units in the game. If you haven't used them yet, you have to try them. Once you field an army of longbowmen, you'll understand why they earned their legendary reputation. I've got an exciting announcement to make. As we are approaching the end of this year, it would be really nice to finally hit the 10,000 of subscribers. We are so close to do that. Once we will achieve that, I am planning to do a giveaway, in which you'll be able to win the newest DLC, the All Under Heaven, or if you already have it, the equivalent in the money. So make sure to like this video and stay subscribed. Okay, let's get back to the video. Now let's move on to the cavalry units. And here things start to get really interesting. There are 11 of them in total, and while some of them are beasts on the battlefield, others, let's just say they look better on the paper than in practice. Starting from the bottom, the camel riders. Don't get me wrong, I've got nothing against them, they are decent units. And they have their uses, especially in desert regions. But when you look at the full range of options across the Africa, there are simply better man-at-arms to invest in. Next up, the light horsemen, the classic no requirements cavalry units. Reliable and accessible, and obviously great in the early game, but they don't scale that well. Still, I would take them over the camel riders any day. In 9th place, the steppe raiders. Introduced with Khans of the Steppe DLC, these guys are solid, especially for variety or roleplay value. But as a Mongolic ruler, you've got far stronger options available, so I rarely find a reason to recruit them beyond flavor. Then we've got the Celtic Hobblers, a hidden gem that I bet many players have never ever tried. To unlock them, you need the Hobby's innovation from the high medieval era. By that point though, I think cavalry units become weaker the later you go in time. But if you disagree with me, make sure to let me know down in the comments below. In 7th place, we have the Slavic unit, Konni. These guys shine in the early and mid game, especially on drylands and plains. If you are running a campaign in Poland, and planning to push into Russia or Siberia, give them a try, they will surprise you. Now in 6th place, the Chasseur, and apologize in advance to any French viewers if I completely butchered that pronunciation. These cavalry units are truly unique. You'll need the desert tactics innovation, and to form the Outremer kingdom with the Outremer culture, but if you go through the effort, you'll be rewarded with a powerful, elite cavalry force that can tear through armies around you. On 5th, we've got the Mulatanum, an incredibly versatile unit. They perform beautifully in deserts, drylands, plains and oases. If you are playing in North Africa or Arabia, these guys are your bread and butter. Fight in their favorite terrain and you'll dominate. Next up, the Caballeros, the proud knights of Iberia. I always think of them as the arch rivals of the Mulatanum, though that's probably just my imagination running wild. To recruit them, you need to be an Iberian ruler with Caballeros innovation. What makes them stand out in their terrain versatility? They are the only European cavalry unit that excels in hills, along with plains and drylands. In 3rd place, I've put the Sahel horsemen. These guys are the arch and heavy infantry slayers in Africa. I can tell you how many times I've seen African AI rulers recruiting nothing but just heavy infantry, and a few stacks of Sahel horsemen can destroy them in no time. Now, the Tawashi. For me, the undisputed kings of Persian region. These Kurdish riders are simply made for the desert mountains which they call home. In that terrain, they are unmatched, fast, tough and deadly. And if you combine them with the fierce independence tradition, which grants +5 to defend the advantage when holding your own county, they become an unstoppable defensive force. If you are playing as a Kurdish ruler and not recruiting Tawashi, you are missing out. For me, the Aerudzi are without any question the best light cavalry unit in the entire game, the legendary horsemen of Armenia. These warriors are pride of the Armenian culture, and if you are playing as an Armenian ruler, you have to recruit them. In fact, stack as many Aerudzi as you can, and I promise you, no one will be able to conquer your lands. They are incredibly versatile, performing exceptionally well in hills, mountains, drylands and plains. But it's in the first two, the rugged hills and towering mountains of Armenia, where they truly shine. Okay, as we have covered the light cavalry, it's time to bring out the real heavy hitters, the heavy cavalry units, the tanks of the medieval world. There are 10 units in this category, and we'll start from the bottom. At number 10, we have the ballista elephants. Don't get me wrong, they sound terrifying, but in practice, not so much. They are incredibly expensive to recruit and maintain, and the damage, only 180 base attack, just doesn't justify the cost. They look amazing on paper, but your treasury will cry every month. At number 9, the armored horsemen, the standard heavy cavalry in CK3. Reliable? Yeah, but also pretty average. They are like that one soldier who does his job but never stands out. I rarely use them, maybe in the early game if I have nothing better, but they are quickly outclassed. Next, in 8th place, we've got the Nomad Lancers, another unit that looks good at first glance. Great against archers, but that's pretty much it. For Mongolic rulers, there are far much stronger, more versatile options. At number 7, the Cataphractoi, the legendary Greek cavalry. You would expect them to be absolute beasts on the battlefield, and while they do look glorious in the golden armor, the effectiveness is sadly limited. For such a prestigious name, I wish they counted more than just archers. Moving on to 6th place, the Conroy, a French unit that's quite unique. The only heavy cavalry that performs well against both archers and light cavalry. That's impressive, but the trade-off is that they don't hit as hard as other heavy cavalry units. A great defensive option, but not my go-to when I want to crush the enemy line. As number 5 we have the Monaspa, the pride of Georgia. These warriors are incredible in hills and mountains, and if you are playing a Georgian campaign, you should definitely recruit them. They will hold mountain passes and repel anyone foolish enough to challenge you, especially if your enemies rely on archers. At number 4, the Gendarmes, another French masterpiece, but one you will probably never use. They only become available in the late medieval era. They are powerful, but often too little and too late. Perfect for roleplay or challenge run. In 3rd place, the Tiefufu Cavalry, one of the new additions from the All Under Heaven DLC. These units are fantastic, strong, reliable, and available from the very start of your campaign. And what's really fascinating is that they are good against spearmen, something you don't often see with cavalry. They are definitely one of my personal favorites. In 2nd place, the Tarkans, Khwarezmian heavy cavalry that perfectly fits their brutal homeland. They are excellent counters to both heavy infantry and other heavy cavalry, making them deadly in battles across Persia and Central Asia. When your neighbors stack heavy infantry, the Tarkans will simply ride through them like a storm. And finally, number 1, the War Elephants, the undisputed kings of the battlefield. Yes, they are expensive, and yes, they drain a lot of gold, but with a base attack of 250, they are worth every single coin. And with the expanded map adding even more taiga terrain, they have become even better. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe to my channel, because you know, there will be a giveaway at 10,000 of subscribers, so may Odin watch over you. Skål!